Once you've created a card, and particularly if you're like me, you like to create your own card bases, so they're often odd sizes, not universal sizes, you then need to make an envelope. And the easiest way and quickest way of doing this, in my opinion, is with the Creative Craft Products Scoreboard and envelope box maker. Now this does three things at once, but it's also a full size 12-inch by 12-inch scoreboard, which many of us would have in our craft room anyway, but the addition of having the envelope and the box maker is just a bonus. It's fantastic. Now this makes super quick envelopes for me. As you can see, we've got lots of different sizes that we can work around as well, and I'm going to be showing you exactly how to make one of these envelopes, how quick and easy it is, and then I'm also going to time myself making a box envelope, which I haven't made yet before, and I haven't even worked out many of the measurements. So the guide just slots into the back of the scoreboard for safekeeping, and also we've got the scoring tool or the bone folder that also fits in there too. Now with this you do have rubber feet as well, so it won't slide around on your desk, making it really nice and stable. So let's take the scoring tool out again and the guide. Let's show you how we make an envelope. Now with this you have two open sides, which means you can work on a larger piece of cardstock if needed. We have the measurements all along here in inches and all the way down here as well. Now if you prefer to work in centimetres, we also have these, and these are embossed on these two open edges, so you can work out your centimetres as well. So to make a basic envelope, we're going to first of all work on our card size. Now, I've got myself a little bit of low tack tape. This is the Creative Craft Products low tack tape. I've used an alcohol pen to draw a line on top of it, and I just move this and place it over the measurements that I'm using for my particular project at that time. And that way, when I'm referring back to it, I don't have to search for which line I'm using. So I'm going to be making an envelope suitable for an A5 or a 4 by 6 inch card. So I need my cardstock at 8 1/8 by 8 1/8. You'll notice that all the paper sizes are square, so as long as you remember one of those measurements, you're fine. So I've cut my paper, it is a paperweight. I'd say this is around about 190 GSM. With envelopes you can actually go down even lower. I wouldn't go much lower than about 120 GSM though. And then we've got here scale marks. So the scale mark for this is 3 3/8. Okay, this just refers to your first measurement, and from there you don't need to refer to this anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pop our guide. Now we can put this anywhere along here. I tend to put it in this top right hand corner, and that way I've got room to move my cardstock up and down without it bashing on the guide. So if I was to place this in the corner, as I'm moving my paper up and down, it can't go any further because of this. So if I place this, and there's a little groove on the inside here, then that will sit inside one of your score lines, and then it won't move around. You can move it up and down if you need, but you can't move it side to side. So my paper can now move freely up and down this diagonal line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the corners of my paper, and because this is square, it doesn't matter which, and I'm going to take it to the 3 3/8 mark on this rule. So that would be 3 and there. Okay, so then take my scoring tool, and we've actually got the word score written here, so it's nice and simple. I'm just going to score down this line. Then I'm going to turn my paper 90 degrees, and that's clockwise, and I'm going to place my score line just where this little lip sticks out, just here. You see my score line is a continuation of here, and I'm going to score again. So now we're not measuring at all. We are just placing the previous score line under that lip and scoring again. And we do this all the way round, and what you'll find is once you've done your fourth line, you should have met back up with your first score line, and you've got a little triangle on each of the corners. So there are tools that will cut these out for you, and in fact the Creative Craft Products do have one that's a really nice tool for firstly rounding off the corners, but also for cutting out these areas. You can purchase that from CraftStash, and we'll link it just here for you. But if you Don't want the additional tool. If you're just trying this out for the first time, scissors are absolutely fine. So I'm just snipping each of these corners, just like so. And in case you forget that stage, that is actually marked on the guide. And then we're just going to fold each of these in. And what you'll find is when you fold them in, and I'm just doing that with my hands, but I could use my bone folder, you will find you have an overlap of each of these. So you've got room to glue here, glue here. There we go. So then what I would usually do is I would take myself a double-sided tape or a red liner tape, and I would apply this on the open end, and I would keep the tape, the backing on the tape, so that I can seal that as and when I feel fit. So there's our first envelope. Like I say, just apply your glue or your tape under there and you've got yourself a really neat envelope. How quick was that? So now I'm going to set myself a challenge. Now I have this card that you saw at the beginning. This has dimension to it. It has the wings lifted up. I'd love to be able to send that to someone just as it is without having to think about flattening it and then reminding them that they need to lift things up to make it look as good as it's going to look. So I'm going to create myself a box envelope, and because I've spoken to you about how quick this is, how efficient this tool is, I'm actually going to put a timer on and see how long it's going to take us to create a box for this. So I've chosen the size that I'm going to need. Now I've made this a little bit larger than my card because I actually plan with this one when I'm sending it. I'm going to be posting it to someone with a chocolate bar included. So I've increased the depth and I've also increased the width and the height a little. So I'm going with a 10 by 10 inch piece of cardstock, which I have cut already. Now this is a cardstock that's around about 250 GSM because it is going to be a box rather than a flat envelope. So I need it to be sturdy, sort of construction weight, just to hold its shape. So I've cut it to 10 by 10. I've put my tape over the guides that I want to use. So let's get that timer set and let's see how long this is going to take us to create this box envelope. Okay, so there's my timer. Now, I've got here my 10 by 10, so I need to score 2 lines for this. The first one is going to be at 3.5 inches. So let's put this at 3.5 inches and score down. Pop that round there. Now I'm not going to rush this because if I was doing this at home I wouldn't rush, but I'm going to be doing it as quick as I can, sensibly. So just considering my measurements and my scoring and such. So I've got lots there. Then I also need to go to 5 inches as well. So we do this twice, whereas with the envelope we actually only did it the once. So just there. That's under that one. There. So the next bit is the bit that I often forget how to do, but I'm going to use my guide to remind me. So I can see I've got a rectangle there. I'm just going to place my card so that actually fits really nicely. I've got the extra depth that I wanted for the chocolate bar. So I've got here the cut lines that I need to make. I can see I've got the corners to cut. The same as with the flat envelope, we've got 2 corners on each edge. Well, there was 1 on the envelope, and then we've also got an additional line that cuts in, so just like so. There we go. That is all shown on this little diagram here. So you cut the 2 corners. And again, like I say, we do have the Creative Craft Products envelope punch, and that will round off the corners for you and cut these for you also. So let's just make sure, and that one's going to come under here. So then I'm going to turn this over and do the same on this side. 1 there, 1 here, and then just cut into there. I think I'm going to use double-sided tape for my adhesive. This will make this even quicker. If I was using glue, I feel wet glue would probably be a little bit stronger, but it will also take a little bit longer, and of course we are going for speed. So I think I've got everything I need with my scoreboard there. So I just need to fold everything into itself, and those. think I'm going to apply my tape before I start putting things together. That should be a bit easier, but everything is being valley folded here. Okay, so I'm going to put some tape on the edges of the two longer pieces. So there's one. This is a finger lift tape again. All double-sided tapes can be found at CraftStash. And I'm going to do the same here. Even if you make your envelopes to give with your cards, if you sell your cards, at least you can leave the backing on these then. Okay, so everything coming in. I don't even feel that I need to glue these bits. They will just be sturdy there. So let's take the tape off of these two edges. If you want to apply glue to those, of course you can. As I say, I just don't feel that I need to. I'm going to line up this corner here and the same with this corner here. Beautiful. How good is that? Okay, so I can pop my card inside. That fits perfectly. I've got the depth that I wanted, and I can slot my chocolate bar in behind and fold these down, and that will close, and of course that will then tape down when I'm ready. Oh, let's stop that timer as well. So we are looking at 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Obviously I was talking to you through that, guiding you through as I went as well. I could probably have done it a little bit quicker, but I'm happy with the time that's taken me to create my own custom envelope box. So that's how you use the Creative Craft Products Scoreboard and envelope box maker. We've created an envelope very quickly, a box envelope, but you've also got on here on the reverse how to create a box too. So you've got all the same measurements there, and you can follow it in exactly the same way as we have with the envelopes. So check out this link to go directly to where you can shop this fantastic scoreboard, and of course check out the 5-star reviews that we've got on there as well for this tool. We have lots of other creative craft tools and products there too, and don't forget of course to subscribe to this CraftStash channel for more product reviews and of course tips and tutorials like this.